you represent for this organization. The respect is very important. What's next for you regarding that respect?
No, I mean, first and foremost, so thankful and so fortunate to have spent as much time as I have here. The fans right from day one. It's been truly a privilege to play in front of them. It's an opportunity that not a lot of players get in this league. I've got it to do it for 14 years now, and it's not lost on me. How special it was to call the Bell Center home. The very, very first time I stepped foot in this organization, management, coaches, the teammates I've had along the years, I can't, there's been ups and downs, but I don't have a single regret. So it's pretty clear I'll be kind of moving on here, but, incredibly, sorry. Jeez. No, I'm just very fortunate.
What's going through your mind?
Just give me a second. No, I had a thought about my mom. I was just thinking about how the teammates supported me through that, and oh God, sorry. I still get emotional talking about her, but that's just something that always will stick with me. Just give me a second here, guys.
That's okay, of course. That's okay. It's okay.
It's still, it's still hard to think about, talk about sometimes, but the way, I went through some pretty tough times, and the way the guys, kind of came behind me and rallied behind me last year. Really, honestly, it's one of the proudest moments I've had. She was so proud to see me be a Montreal Canadien, and it was, and that's just part of it. The teammates I've had throughout the years, the incredible love for the city is something that I'll always have with me, and I'm very fortunate to have.
Brendan, what would you like to say to Canadiens fans?
Oh, just thank you. Honestly, they've just embraced what I am as a player. They've they appreciated me. I just tried to give them everything I had every single night, and then they really embraced me and supported me along the way. So it's just like I said, an experience that I'm very happy I got to go through.
Do you still want to play, Brendan?
No, of course I'm going to keep playing. There's more in the tank, obviously. I would have loved for it to be here. It's just one of those situations where I guess my time has come, and they've moved on, and for me as a player, I'm looking forward to to kind of getting back to what I do.
How was it difficult for Brendan as a veteran, also a proud member of this team for so long, to have to sit out the couple last rounds here?
Yeah, of course. No, that's hard. I felt like I could have helped. Unfortunately, just didn't get that opportunity. I thought the guys, they battled and they did everything they possibly could. I just felt like, hadn't given the opportunity, I could have helped them out.
Brendan, you're under contract for one more year. You spent your entire career, from even before you were drafted, proving people wrong. There's a lot of people who think, okay, you've got one more year left. How much more do you think is in your tank?
I mean, I can keep playing. Honestly, the way I feel, I just know it's not done. You never know how many years, but I just have I have plenty more to give. I just feel like around here, the opportunity is just not going to be there. So for me, I just need to find a new home and do what I do as a player. But I can certainly keep playing. There's tons more to give, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Brendan, we saw you down by the bench at the end of the last game with your hoodie on and that. And how important was it for you to be there? Close
Yeah, I mean, I obviously kind of knew kind of knew the season was ending and that was going to be it for me here. And I just kind of wanted to take a second to, look back and, for myself, kind of be proud of what I did here and, look around. Obviously, would have loved to have been on the ice with the guys, but you just try to feel that with them. And, be sure to thank them along the way. Unbelievable. This is a really good group, you guys. It's a group that really cares about each other, obviously. They've been together for a long time. They're going to keep working at it, and I wish them nothing but the best. And, you go through as much as we have, you're going to be bonding for life, and I'm certainly very, very proud to watch them.
As you said, you could have helped. There are probably a lot of people in this scrum who thought that when the team was down 3-1, that was the time for a change. How surprised were you, if at all, that you didn't dress for that fifth game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd be in there. I was actually looking forward to the opportunity to try to pull guys into the fight. I thought that's something that I'll never lose and something I do well. I'm sure I would have been able to. It's just wasn't given the opportunity, and that's fine. It's I've had to accept this fate here for a little while, and like I said, looking forward to a new challenge. But the bond you have with these guys is never going anywhere, and I am proud of the effort that they put forward.
When did you realize that your time was done here? When did it sink in?
I mean, you could kind of tell. There were glimpses. It's obviously near the end of the year when you're getting pulled out of the lineup, and then when there were big opportunities, it just seemed they looked other ways. So, obviously that's coach's decision. That's within his job title, and for me as a player, when your number's called to be ready, if it's not called, it's probably time to move on.
Did Marty or Kent or anybody?
Brendan Kent just said that he's going to treat you with the respect that you've obviously earned and deserve. So, is it fair to assume that this is your decision, that you would like to move on and get an opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it goes both ways. It is obviously my decision, but you're kind of forced into it. I would love to stay here and love to be a part of this group, but for me, I mean, you have to give yourself an opportunity as a player to contribute, and just the situation where it is now, you could, it's not going to change, right? So you just kind of accept it for what it is, and you deal with it. I've been around here long enough. I've seen it happen to other players, and guys go on and finish their careers elsewhere. But for me, like I said, Montreal is always it's going to be home, and I don't want it to be lost on anyone how fortunate I feel to have the opportunity to play here as long as I have.
How would you feel about the opportunity to go home, Brendan?
Sorry?
How would you feel about the opportunity to go home?
Oh yeah, I mean that's obviously. It's an opportunity that's there. If it is, I haven't had an opportunity really with my agent to sit down. I'm sure there'll be a couple places you sit down with my wife and then figure out what's best for our family, and then you go forward. But certainly, it's Vancouver would be a great place.
Is there anyone in that stretch you can rely on when it comes to maybe former teammates, or just that you mentioned that some players have been through that?
Yeah, I mean, I live with Josh Georges, and if you remember, kind of similar with Georgie.
Yeah.
I saw him go through it, and it's hard because you're, I remember how he felt. It's similar to how I'm feeling. It's not your choice, but it's in the end, it's what you have to do for yourself as a player, and. I just got to pick what's best for me now and take care of myself. But it's part of the business of it, and as a player, you deal with it.
Did Marty or Kent talk to you before Game 5 and explain why they didn't put you in?
Yeah, I had phone calls with Kent. I had some meetings with Marty. I think not specifically, but it's. Yeah, it's just it's their decision. I don't know if there's really any justification for it. It's just one of those things where decisions were made, and unfortunately, we all have to deal with the consequences.
Brendan, there are many memories, I suppose, throughout your career, but is there one that stands out well?
Yeah, well, I tried to talk about it earlier, and then I started crying, so I'll try not to. But, honestly, when what I went through last year, it was just. A world of emotions, and I don't know how I would have been able to play hockey without this group. So it's just something that I'm always going to look back on and remember fondly. I mean, on the ice, there's certain moments, but that's just something where, I can't describe how much that just meant to me as a person.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yes, appreciate it. Brendan. Thanks, guys. Thank you all. I honestly appreciate it.
First of all, we just spoke with Brendan Gallagher, obviously, who told us he was headed somewhere else, probably. Maybe just what has he meant to you since you joined the Canadiens?
Yeah, I mean, since the start for me, he made me feel comfortable. A pretty good memory of mine was when he was on the ice for my first NHL point, and he kind of told me to go first in the line, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, such a pro, good guy to be around, great leader, and yeah, he's just been so good to me.
How are you health-wise?
I'm good. Yeah.
What did the Hurricanes teach you guys about what you need to improve on or do better moving forward to get past them or other teams like that in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, there were just kind of little errors here and there. A lot of stuff that we could take care of on our end that we didn't, but I think just having more desperation, playing, elevating even more from, other rounds. We didn't really reach another level. We kind of stayed the same. So maybe just, lack of elevating when the games got more intense.
Lane, where do you feel you are personally as a player and your team is at if you compare it to a year ago at this time when you just finished a series against the Capitals? Where are the biggest sort of gains you feel you've made and the team has made?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a team we took so many strides all year, but just feeling comfortable in those playoff situations, really just battling it out, all that stuff. We felt more connected, played some really good hockey in playoffs, and had some not so great games. But it's learning lessons. For myself, I felt like I've as the team got more comfortable, I got more comfortable and felt confident in situations in playoffs compared to last year where kind of, felt like it hit me pretty quick that it's a completely different game.
Lane, when you look at your performance last year and certainly this year, you could look back on the whole situation you were in at the beginning of the season and say, man, there's a few more dollars that could have been coming my way on this contract that I decided to sign. But having gone through the playoffs and gotten as close as you guys did, even if you remain a little far away, how much does it justify in your mind the decision you made so that you guys can have the type of team that'll eventually win?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. So fortunate that I was able to, lock that up for a long time and be here, and, to be that close and that far at the same time, it's a great thing, and, makes me more hungry and everyone just a bit hungrier to get back there and prove ourselves.
When you say that you, as a team, you did not elevate enough, is that your read also from the first two rounds?
No, I mean, I feel like we matched, what was coming our way. We played some really good hockey. They both went 7, and I feel like, either one of them could end it in, 6 if we, there's a closing out series is part of it too, and that's something we got to get better at. But I feel like we played good enough in both those.
Did you feel more confident this season? You seem to be taking a lot more shots this year than last year. What changed?
Yeah, I think feel more comfortable just shooting the puck. Try to work on it pretty often, and still got a lot of work to do in that.
What's your understanding of the difference between regular season hockey and playoff hockey?
I mean, playoff hockey is just so intense, so much pace. Guys are hitting everything, and then regular season, you just try to play into the structure that you have and find different ways to win because it's such a long season.
You always like to say more hockey, you love more hockey. Will you actually take a few days now off the ice?
Maybe a little bit, and then reevaluate pretty soon, and then hopefully get back out soon.
Going through the summer, is your mind, like last summer with the contract on your weighing, is it going to be a much, I don't know if enjoyable is the right word, but will your summer be more relaxing maybe, not having that in the back of your mind?
I mean, it's hard to enjoy it when we aren't still playing, but once we get past, the finals. Maybe try to enjoy getting ready for the year.
Jeff and Ken said that to go forward as a team, you have to get better defensively as a team. Again, not you personally, but what do you feel you can do better as defensive core and as a 20-player group to improve defensively on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think part of it's mentality, just killing more plays for everyone. Playing with the puck more. The more we play with it, we don't have to defend, and it's all kind of simple stuff, but it's cumulative of doing everything really well all the time.
When you talked about how much Ivan is an important part of the future and how bright it is for him, just what have you learned about him in terms of being a teammate and embracing the team culture and just all the things that make a team be able to win, all the stuff that you've kind of embraced?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, say a couple of things, but he really cares about winning. We talk about it all the time. He doesn't really get to show it as much in the locker room yet because he, is a little quiet sometimes, but he's all about the team, tries to take care of everything he can and wants to do everything just to help us win. So it's fun to be around and, fun to play with.
Blaine, I know you said it right after the game, but could you clarify kind of what you said in terms of we're still far away? What did you mean by that right after the game?
Yeah, I didn't necessarily mean in terms of, the way we play. We didn't play great in those situations, but I meant more of like the journey itself. Like, you got to win, 5 more games or whatever. So, or 7 more games. So it's that's how far off we are, and it felt like we were right there. So.
Brendan has told us he won't be back. What has he meant to this team? What has he meant to you?
Yeah, since I came into the league, he's taken care of me. Such a great teammate. Just enjoy my time with him, like everyone. So, gonna be missed for sure.
When you say took care of you, like what are some of the things that he might have done?
I said it earlier, but my first game, it was pretty funny. I got an assist, a point on his goal, and he told me to lead the line. So it was something I won't forget. It was pretty cool of him.
Like,
How was your relationship?
Probably in your personality, but you were really hard on yourself, especially during this series. Is there a learning for you in that specific things?
I don't know if I'm necessarily going to change. I feel like that's something that I pride myself in being really good for my teammates and trying to help us win. So, I enjoy battling it out, and struggles happen. You got to get through it, and honestly, I just got to be a bit better and help the team.
How has your relationship with Demidov developed as his English came along?
Yeah, his English has always been pretty good, but we like to have some fun, joke around with each other. He's just such a good teammate, great friend of mine. So it's nice to have him here.
What makes you most excited about this team now moving forward?
Yeah, I think just the pieces we have here, how well everyone gels together, and how much fun we have winning with each other. So, winning with this group's a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing more of it.
You can tell Ivan to get the contract extension out of the way before the season starts.
We'll see, but yeah, I don't know. We've talked about it, but we'll see.
You personally have some life-changing money coming your way next season. How do you wrap your head around how your life's going to change from that standpoint?
Yeah, I just try to be myself every day. Try not to think about it. Obviously, fortunate to be taken care of and all that stuff, but now I got to pay it back to the organization and my teammates.
There's no perfect world in this game. You change a lot, but as a guy like Makar, would you like to build a strong relationship with a partner for years? You switch a lot over the last 2 years. Do you think that it's part of the thing that you would like to have in the future?
I think I'm good with whatever we need to win. There's so many great defensemen on this team. Could play with any of them, so it doesn't change the way I approach the game. It just kind of excites me because sometimes you got to adjust a little bit, and it's it's exciting, honestly.
The focus is always on Marty St. Louis, but what can you say about Stefan Robida and the job he's done with you and this defense core?
Yeah, Roby does so much for our D. Brings a calming mindset, just kind of lets us play and inserts himself when he needs to. But having him, put trust in our D and myself, it means a ton, and very thankful that he's helping us out.
Would you label this team as contenders at this point? And if not, what's the missing piece to get there?
I think the missing piece is just winning more games, but I wouldn't put a label on anything. We just got to keep earning it and keep grinding it out and do it all again.
Obviously, it was a tough situation with Brendan, with management. And, Ken, you spoke about it earlier. What can you say about Kent just from a human standpoint? I mean, you dealt with him with your contract and the tough decisions with Brendan and just how he sort of handles difficult situations with this team.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good at what he does, professional. Also just, good guy. He understands what, everyone goes through. Tries to kind of understand on a human level what, each and every one of us is going through. And it's, easy to work with and easy to get behind what he's saying. So it's sometimes it's a tough part of the business, but he's pretty good at it.
I think everybody tries to find an edge during the summer. What will you be working on?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Keep shooting, keep working on skating, make sure I'm ready to go.
Any plans, special plans for summer apart from hockey to get a break?
No plans. Just hang out, reset, and try to do it all again.
Were you at Luke Combs' games?
No.
That's right.
Was it a good concert?
It was a good concert, yeah.
Cole, what did it mean, that concert, to be there with Gallagher, knowing that he just broke down before, saying he's on his way out here? What did it mean to sort of have a last night to hang out with him and what he meant to you and the team?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously one of the most special humans, besides teammate that I've ever got to play with. So, I mean, you don't really realize how many moments you have with somebody, and so I guess that night meant a lot to kind of everybody. But to be able to share that with him and his wife too, it was pretty cool. But just the type of guy he is, it's just a special human.
How does he help you? What do you keep from him?
So much. I mean, on and off the ice, just how he was able to write his story kind of just made it possible for a guy like me to even have a chance. So I guess can't thank him enough. But the way he carries himself every day of his career has been special. So very lucky to share most of my young career with him.
Cole, what do you hold from the growth of the group this season, but also what you guys need to achieve to make sure you get there every year?
Yeah, it's it's obviously not easy. Ran into a really good team, and I guess we did beat some really good teams along the way, but every year teams are getting better, teams learn. So obviously didn't even go our way at all, and so we got a lot more work to do, and nobody's really satisfied with anything that happened this year. So just back to work. I think guys learned a lot this year, but know there's a long way to go.
You had a 50 goal season. That's a pretty remarkable achievement. When you look back, is it the main thing that you'll get from this season, or it's more just the path that the team took for the?
Yeah, I think it's just what's the next step? How do we improve in all aspects of our game? I think the better that the team gets, I think the more individual success comes with that. So just focused on one day at a time, just improving. I think everybody can be better, and everybody's excited for next year. So,
what sort of challenge did playoff hockey present to you personally in terms of the amount of space that was at your disposal, the type of tight checking game that you faced night after night? So, how were you able to maneuver through that?
Yeah, honestly, I sucked. That's just plain and simple. I want to be a lot better. I expect a lot more out of myself, and my teammates and coaches do too. So, I think there's a lot more out there. Nowhere near satisfied with how that went. So, you're getting tough matchups, but you get that all year. So, it has nothing to do with that. I think I could be a lot better, and there's a long way to go.
What did it mean to you to become a 50?
Tried to do too much in the playoffs.
Say that again. Sorry?
Juraj said that you probably tried to do too much in the playoffs. Was it similar for you?
I mean, you're working your ass off every game, and you're trying to do all the right things, and that's just how it is. It's a challenge every time you step on the ice in the playoffs, and that just shows that there's a lot more to go. And I think you obviously take a lot of learning things from that series, and just fuel to the fire for next year.
What
What
is your
did it
own
mean to
analysis
you to
of-
become a 50-goal scorer? The way that Martin brought you along, the way that he helped you develop your game.
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think becoming a more complete player, I guess, is probably the biggest thing for me. And I think getting more opportunities and more looks with the puck is because of him and what we talk about. Watch videos. So I think just continue to do that. I think there's more out there for me, and just a lot more things that I could be better at.
What is your own analysis of how your line struggled to produce at 5-on-5 in playoffs?
Yeah, just not good at all. I think you don't obviously get to the conference finals without the other guys on the team too, and they stepped up and carried us along. I think we expect more from ourselves and demand that out of ourselves too. So I think there's a long ways to go, and we can all be better, but just wasn't good enough at all.
Cole, if not for the disallowed goal in the third game, you're potentially up 2-1 against this team. Will you think about that, how this series might have turned out differently?
Not really, no. We lost, and it wasn't really that close. So, I mean, obviously they they took care of business, early on in the playoffs, and we had some times to kind of go up and create easier series, and we didn't do that. So sucks how it went, but again, they kind of dominated us, and I think it was pretty obvious.
What did you think the team learned and you learned playing against Carolina, just the style they play? They're like a machine. They just keep coming in waves.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you saw in the first two rounds they play their game to their best of their abilities, and they've been doing it for a long time. So there's a reason they've been in that situation a bunch of times these past couple of years, and credit to them for how dialed they've been, and well coached team, very professional, and just a really good team. So again, for us, long ways to go, but I think we can learn kind of from failure.
We never know what management could do or could not do during the summer to improve the team, but you talk to other players around the league too. Do you think that this franchise is more attractive than ever?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it's a special place to play, special place to live, and for me, it's all I know, but I know it's the best, and I think guys are starting to see the kind of culture that we've built here these past couple of years, and it's a fun time to be a part of this organization, and hopefully we just continue to grow and be better, and we just want to have a championship team here, and this city deserves that.
Cole, we saw that picture of you and Marty at the concert. You seem to be having fun. If you could expand on that special bond you seem to have with your coach.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those memories, you don't even realize in the moment how cool it is. But that's our guy. That's our leader. Ever since he's came in, he's given guys opportunity, confidence. It hasn't been easy, but without him, I don't know where our team's at. So very special to have a guy like that lead the way. But he's hungry. He keeps the group, very hungry for what's next, and I think that's kind of what drives us the most.
What do you think this team needs in order to take another step?
I don't know. I think we have the right recipes, but it just shows how good the league is. Every year you get reminded, you get humbled, and a long ways to go. I'm glad I'm not the guy that makes those decisions, but honestly, I need to be better, and I expect a lot more out of myself. So I guess a better version of me next year.
What did you learn about just
how better prepared are you mentally to face a playoff situation in the future based on what you just went through?
Yeah, I mean, 2 Game 7s against 2 really good teams. You can learn a lot from that. You can also learn that you don't really want to do that every series, and that's just the truth. I think, we expect a lot more from ourselves. Everything that happens, happens for a reason, and we can obviously grow and become a lot better from that.
Thanks, Cole. Have a great summer.
Thanks, guys. You too.
A lot of games and not many nights, so guys are battling through stuff, and just something that happened that played through. So
You really looked like you were in your element in the playoffs. And how much do you enjoy that?
yeah, no, it's I've always obviously enjoyed the playoffs. It's always when you're trying to do something that you've been working your whole life for, especially Stanley Cup, and it's a dream as a kid, and don't know how many chances you get, so you just try to take advantage every game, every time you're on the ice there. So felt like playoffs was good. Felt like my game was in a good spot, and again, that's just kind of something that I want to hold on to for the summer and carry that into next year.
What did Brendan Gallagher mean to this team? What did he mean to you personally?
Personally, he meant a lot. I mean, he's a Western Canadian kid, and growing up in Western Canada, I always knew who he was and followed his career, and looked up to him a lot as how he played. Before I knew him as a player, I had a lot of respect for his game. He works his ass off every time he's out there, and you know what you're going to get from Gally every night. And off the ice, he's just such a likable guy, and obviously been here for a long time, and as a young guy coming in, and for him to, obviously he was here for so long and is here still, but he was a guy to look up to coming into the league for sure. He's such a good leader for this group and everyone here. So.
As a group, what did it mean to have that night at the Luke Combs concert with Gally? Sort of as a send-off almost.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was great. It was, I mean, a little emotional, obviously, and you love the guy, and obviously tough probably for him to watch these playoff games and lately, and you battle for him and you play for him, and you know what he would have brought if he was out there, but again, still here. He's still here, and I'm gonna act like it for now. So.
How did you guys find out that he's looking gone? Did you just kind of assume?
I don't know. I guess he said something today, maybe. I don't know. That's.
Well, he just told us.
Yeah. So that's.
Did he not? That's how you found out?
Yeah.
Really?
So,
Oh.
I mean, you just.
So you didn't know
stuff.
the contract that this was.
No, not really. I mean, he's not going to go around probably telling the guys that, it's just, kind of stuff.
Kate, you've had a lot of moments where you've had great momentum halted by injuries. Just what would the opportunity to have a healthy summer bring to you in terms of finding your best self from an 82-game season through the playoffs?
Yeah, it's definitely up there on the list. It's again, it's just unfortunate. Injuries have kind of been a huge part of my career, and like you said, feel like you gain some momentum in the season or at certain points, and did you get an injury and a bit of a setback, and no matter if you miss time or not, missing time, you always kind of takes you a bit to get back into the groove of the games and being kind of around the guys and being back in the swing of things. So, yeah, just having a healthy summer, trying to come into camp next year ready, and obviously this year it was kind of a grind from the start with kind of having to play through something early on, and then it gets worse, and then having to end up getting surgery. So, definitely it'd be important to come into camp next year healthy and ready to go for a full year. So.
Lane said earlier that the team didn't manage to elevate its game when it came to closing, when it was Game 6 or against the Hurricanes. Apart from the experience and the learning, what do you feel this team needs to elevate in these moments?
I think that, exactly that. I think both series we were up 2-1 and had Game 4 at home, and just couldn't seem to kind of have that extra, step that we needed to maybe really make it hard for the other team to get back in the series, and who knows, maybe play a few extra games in those series. Maybe mentally, physically, feel a little bit better going into the Carolina series. So again, it's learning. I think you look at where Carolina's at. They've been in conference final 3 of the past 4 years, and they finally just made it to the Cup final. So sometimes as a team, you got to go through this stuff and learn how to lose before you learn how to win. So I think you look at history in this league and in a lot of pro sports, it seems to kind of have that kind of trend. So
Was there any question that you were going to play Game 5?
I was going to play.
There was no doubt.
For myself, I was going to play. Yeah.
You guys play a different style in Carolina, but what can you guys learn from the way they play and maybe add or adjust your game next season?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at their group, they've been doing it for so long. Their core guys have been there forever. They've been playing the same way, the same style, and that's what we're striving to do. We're obviously we've had the core guys here for a bit, and I think over time it'll be a similar scenario. I think we're just going to get more in tune with systems and how to play and identity, and yeah.
Can you explain, you think, how well you performed on the road compared to how you performed at home?
Yeah, for whatever reason, we just couldn't find it at home. I think maybe gripping your sticks too tight. I think maybe we wanted it so bad for the fans that maybe just got in our heads a little bit, I guess you could say. And yeah, that's something that we'll have to work on for sure.
Ken, we talk a lot about the need to have like a proper right-left balance on the D-core. I think you were the guy who probably had to adapt the most because you didn't have 3 righties. And just how important is that to really building a championship puzzle, having like a well-balanced defense?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the shot or left shot, right shot. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just the personnel you have and we had at the time or right now, and trying to make it work. And don't.
Have a chance to change the personnel.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to have 3 lefties and 3 righties for your team to be good. I think you have 4 lefties and 2 righties, or 4 righties, 2 lefties. I think you can still make it work, and I don't think it's really I don't think that's the end-all be-all for us to get to the next level, is having 3 lefties and 3 righties on the back end. So.
What do you have to heal up from over the summer? Like, just what's the protocol for you just now?
Get some things checked out. Don't think anything's really too serious. Might have to take a little bit of time to let the body heal a bit, but shouldn't have anything overly serious. Shouldn't have to go under the knife again. So should be good.
Jeff and Kev identified the defensive side of the puck being one of the areas that maybe should be prioritized in the future to get this team better. What do you feel I know it's pretty fresh, they lost against Carolina, but what do you feel you can improve defensively as a group?
Yeah, I think obviously I think all year we've shown that we can score goals and we can play that type of game, but I agree. I think that Carolina series defensively we got tested a bit. I think just as a group as a whole, I think just tighter and having not a different mindset, but I think we always wanted to defend, but when you got a team like Carolina that really knows how to defend and it makes it hard to generate offense, I think that was just the kind of battle that we lost, was that defensive battle. And again, I think Carolina's been working at that for how many years and have the same coach, same system, same type of guys. And again, like I said, I think we're striving to do that. So.
What impressed you most about Lane, and especially in the playoffs when he had such a target on his back as a small guy, and they were running him every chance they had?
How tough is it to see Gallagher probably as his last hours with the team now?
Yeah, I mean, it's, obviously, first off, he's a close friend and close friend to, all the guys here. you know, we'll see what happens in the future. But you know, I'd love for you know things to work out well, and whether that's if he stays here or moves on. I think you know, just want to see him happy, and yeah, we'll see what happens later.
What is one thing you learned from him when you entered the league?
I don't know. There's definitely not one thing. I mean, there's plenty of things that he taught me, and just learned from watching him. You know, how good of a teammate he is, how he deals with you know, the whole staff, and you know, I've sat beside him for a few years now, and just you know, car rides and stuff like that. So I spent a lot of time with him, and learned a lot of different things about, you know, being a leader, what it means to play for this team, and I think he's taught a lot of us, you know, those messages for sure.
Nick, Gold was very hard on himself a few minutes ago, saying I sucked, I wasn't good enough during the playoffs. For your line, it was tough, obviously, at certain points, but do you feel that maybe he's too hard on himself, knowing that you guys did everything you could?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely being too hard on himself. I think, you know, I think everyone in here would kind of wish they could have done more, did more, but you know, when you're out there, you're giving it your all, and you know, hockey's a funny game. Sometimes you know, work as hard as you can, and you don't really, you know, aren't getting rewarded, or you feel like things are going wrong. And you know, I think it definitely felt like you know, a learning lesson, you know, for our line, when you know, they're targeting us probably more than, you know, you're used to in the regular season, and I think it's a good learning lesson for, you know, a lot of the young guys too.
Is this the reason why you feel that the line struggle a little bit more to produce in the playoff 5-on-5 than during the regular season?
Yeah, I think points in the playoffs, all three of us were probably not loving where what was going on or what our games were feeling like, and you know, at points I felt like we had it, and then you know, something wouldn't go our way, and you know, you got to find ways to produce and help the team, and I thought we did that for the most part, just you know, not at the rate that we'd love. So yeah, I think you know, we could have definitely done a little bit more to help the team win, which you know, is obviously the pressure that we carry for most nights.
Nick, you played a lot of hockey this year. How do you feel mentally, physically?
Mentally feel good for sure. Physically, I'm in a pretty good spot for you know, the amount and the physicality that's been played. So you know, just gonna probably take a couple weeks off and get back to work here.
When you talk about Brendan Gallagher, one image that comes to mind is the 2020 playoffs, all bloodied. They talked about instilling a culture in this team when the new administration came in. Is that part of the culture, that drive, that kind of passion that Brendan exemplifies?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's kind of been the leader in that regard for a long time here, and you know, he's given everything he could to you know, Montreal for the team. I think you know, we've all seen that as younger players, getting to know him and watch him, and you know, played with him for 7 years now, and you know, there's you know, a lot of things that he did for us off the ice that, you know, helped us a ton. So you know, he's a special guy, and we'll see what happens in the future. I'd love for him to stay, obviously.
What will you keep from 25-26? You became a father, you play in Olympic games, 100 points, semifinals. I know you were disappointed by the result against Carolina, but what will you keep from this year for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of high points this year, and you know, memories that you know, I'll cherish for a lifetime. And I think yeah, becoming a dad has been really cool, and obviously playing for Team Canada at the Olympics is a dream come true. And you know, with what we did with this team, it was a special year, and I think, you know, we're already kind of looking forward to next year and the excitement that comes with, you know, knowing how good of a team we are, and you know, what that can turn into.
Lane
How
said,
special were the past-
Lane said earlier that you guys couldn't elevate at big moments during the playoffs, especially Game 6 against the Tampa and Buffalo and against the Hurricanes. What does it mean to elevate? You know, how can you do that, and how you feel the learning you've did in these playoffs can help you move forward? Is
Yeah,
it
I mean,
the
there's
biggest regret maybe not to be able to do that?
to like close it out in
Yeah.
Game 6s. For sure. I mean, it's obviously you come home and you have an opportunity to close the team out and aren't able to do that twice. But I mean, I feel like there's other games where guys elevated and we were able to do that, and you can't just look back on 2 games. And, so there's points where in the playoffs, there's going to be different guys that elevate each night, and we had that. And as a group, I think is where we can elevate instead of like individually. I think as a group, we could have done probably more collectively to close teams out. But that's a learning lesson that we're gonna think about through the summer, and when the time comes, we'll be more prepared for it next time.
What's the past couple of months been like for you, becoming a new father just on the eve of the playoffs and then going through a run like this?
What was the what?
What has the past couple
what
of
has
months
it been
been
like?
For you personally?
I mean, on the dad side, I've had it pretty easy. I feel like my wife's done the heavy lifting, and my family, and her family has done a lot of the extra work to make sure that I can be as well prepared for the games as I can be, and looking forward to taking a good chunk of the summer work with the baby. So excited for that.
What's your mindset going into the summer? Are you looking at this season, you're proud of what you accomplished, or is it you have sour taste in your mouth? How are you approaching the summer?
I mean, every time you lose, and there's always those bad feeling, and the feeling like you could have done more and you could have done something different. And I think that's one of the better things about hockey. Everyone, we're all talking about it after, of like, you don't want to have regrets, but it's tough when you look back on things, and sometimes when you wish you had plays back, but it just doesn't happen. So overall, I think we look at it on a positive note with how young we are, how bright our future is, but you never know how many opportunities you're going to get to be in a Eastern Conference final, so it obviously sucks to be on the losing side of that.
Nick, you mentioned the word elevate, but I mean, obviously you're going into every game trying to play as hard as you can, and you're not leaving anything on the table. So what does it mean to you to elevate when you're already giving 100% every time you're out there?
Mm-hmm. It's honestly more on like the mental side. I feel like when you're in a playoff series, you're going up against the same guys over and over again. I think you got to find the mental edge. Whether it's learning their tendencies, learning how they want to play as an individual player and as a team, and I think you can gain that edge mentally, which elevates your chances of producing well.
Cole just came out here and told us that he thought he sucked in the playoffs. Is that kind of what you're talking about there? He seemed to have been beaten down a little bit mentally in terms of the production and all things that he feels the need to come out and finally do what he says.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just he's obviously hard on himself and feel like he's obviously wants to be a top player and be in those big moments and do well. And I think he didn't suck. I mean, it's just he has high standards for himself, and he probably feels like he didn't get there. But it's not easy to go out there every night and be a guy that's circled on the other team's lineup. So it's I thought at points we did a really good job, and points I'm sure Cole wish he played better, but I'm sure every guy had the same feeling.
The ultimate competitor. He's meant a lot to this organization. I mean, to play 14 years with the same team. Not a lot of guys get to do that in the league, but you know, he's a tremendous guy off the ice. You know, a family man now, and you know, a guy that you know is gonna be a friend for life. So he's meant a lot to this city. He's just an absolute a warrior, and you know, a guy that you know every team would love to have on his team.
When you think of Brendan, I often think about the 2020 playoffs when he was all bloodied. That DNA, is that in the team?
Yeah, I mean that sums up you know Galley to a T. He puts everything on the line. You know, his body and whatnot, and you know, he's a winner. He does whatever he can for the team to help the team win, and he lays it out there each and every night that he lays out his skates.
Yeah, how tough is it to know that he's not going to be back?
It's hard. It's really hard. You know, playing with him for the last you know 6 years, and you know what we've all been through. You know, the retool and going to the finals my first year here with him, and then you know how it went this year. It sucks. It really does, but you know, it's the nature of the game. It's tough.
How tough was it to support him throughout this stretch of, you know, him not playing and not obviously wanting to be involved in games, but also for you preparing to get in the battle also?
Yeah. You know, you never, you know, if I was in his shoes, you never want to be in that position. It's hard. Being a competitor, you want to be on the ice, helping out your team, and I'm sure, you know, he wasn't happy with it. I mean, it's really hard. There's no really words to put it. He's the ultimate competitor. We would have loved to have him out there, battling with us, and you know, who knows.
We heard the word elevate a few times this morning, considering, you know, the fact that you guys couldn't close out game sixes in the first round and maybe lacking energy afterwards or whatever. But what does it mean what is the meaning of this word for you, to elevate and make sure that you can repeat the same things next year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, you're going to have to. You know, you see, you know, we're getting better as a team, and you know, they obviously have, you know, their core players and a group that's going to be here for a long time. You know, so you know, just get a little taste of it. How far we went this year is obviously we're taking strides in the right direction. You know, it still leaves a sour taste in your mouth. You know, you're 7 wins away, so you know, that's something that's I'm sure guys are going to be thinking about all summer, and you know how bad you want to get back there and how hard it is to win each round. You know, you go 2 7-game series, and just, you know, how hard it is to get through those. The ballot is the pain that you're in, but you know, you got to do it all over again. That's the beauty of it. So you know, I think we're all looking forward to next year and doing it again.
You mentioned the retool before. Actually, you rebuild, right? Because that's how
Yeah.
You know, and you went through it.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at how quickly this rebuild has produced results?
Not really, to be honest with you. I mean, you see all the young players that came in, and you know, you knew that they were going to be special players for this organization for a long time. And then obviously, you know, to see what Jeff, Kent did to sign those guys long term, and for them to agree to be here for 8 years. You know, we have something special in this locker room, and to be able to do it for a long time. So, you know, we're going to have a great group of guys that's going to lead this team to win here ultimately.
What's your takeaway from the loss to Carolina, and what it revealed on what the team is lacking to move on to the next?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's still fresh. You know, you can't help but, you know, think about you know, what happened in Game 4 and Game 5, and you know, he lost the game in the first period. It's tough to come back, you know, down 3-0 in the first period against a team like Carolina, who doesn't give you much. You know, those are the hardest things for me. You know, a couple games went in overtime. They could have won either way. So, yeah.
Josh, what do you think? Like, how What do you think this team learned about how valuable it can be to play a physical style of play in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's really valuable. You know, you see guys dealing with a bunch of stuff coming, you know, out of those rounds and putting your line on the body, and you know, other teams are going through the same thing. But you know, it can change momentum quickly, being physical, and you know, team coughing up pucks because you know, certain guys are coming on the ice and trying to bring that presence. So yeah, it's obviously it's huge to have that in the playoffs.
Do you think this was lacking? Do you think this was lacking collectively, that physical?
Well, I mean, it was. I mean, in Carolina, it's like, even for myself, it was hard to, you know, find a hit out there. Just the way they played. They're you know, they're a great hockey team. You got to give them credit. They're quick with the puck. They like to, you know, flip pucks out too, and their forwards are pretty fast. Yeah, it was hard to be physical in that
Do you
series.
think this team needs more Josh Andersons to take the next step?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that, you know, Kent and Jeff will have to figure out. Obviously, you try to do your part as best you can. You know, I think a lot of guys can learn, if, you know, you're not scoring, you know, you can do other things to help your team and maybe be a little bit more physical. But like I said before, I found it hard to be physical in that Carolina series.
When you're part of the Final Four, you're obviously close to a championship. But then when you go out with 4 straight losses, are you farther or closer to that goal?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's still, you know, hard to, you know, be in this position right now. To be honest, yeah, it's still fresh. You know, when you get down to it, and you're the, you know, Final Four teams going into it, it's hard. You can taste it. You're 7 ways to win to the ultimate goal, and you know, that's kind of, you know, where I'm at right now.
Do you feel there was still room to elevate against Carolina, or you were just mentally, physically, emotionally drained as a team?
No, I think there was. I mean, you know, we're right in the series, and then, like I said, game 4, game 5, you're down 3-0 in the first period, quick. So it's hard to come back, especially you know, 3-0 against a Carolina team that doesn't give up much.
How can you give yourself more
Alex, maybe first of all, we all talked to Brandon earlier, and he was very emotional. What do you hold from what he's meant to this group and to you personally?
Yeah, he's you know, I think when you think about a team player and a good team guy, he's right at the top of the list. You know, since I've been here a long time, but since I've been here, it's pretty evident what he's meant to this organization, what he means to this group here in the past 3 years. And, you know, he's a guy that leads by example. He's a guy that everyone respects, and deservingly so. I think over his career, he's had a hell of a career, and he's played with his heart on his sleeve. I think his whole career, and guys respected around the league and on this team for sure. So can't say enough good things about him.
Do you feel you found your identity as a player this season? And if so, what is that identity?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it was a good step for me. Obviously, the injury took a bit of a toll on the season, just with not playing as many games and then trying to come back from that. But yeah, I think I had a bigger impact on the game this year individually, and we just try to keep getting better every year. For me, that's been the goal since being in the league, and I think this year I did take a step. So take it into next year and keep getting better, and yeah.
Do you feel that part of that has to do with learning how to manage your speed, which is very dear to Martin?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's been a focus since I've been here, I think. But yeah, I think for sure using it effectively is an important part of my game. I think when I'm doing that, I'm probably at my best, and but definitely using it is a key. So yeah, it's part of it, but there's it's a bigger picture too, I think. Rounding out, being able to play on the kill, being able to play in all situations is a big part of that as well. And I was given more of a role and bigger role, and
so I just had to make the most of it.
When we look at the playoff run, obviously some regrets from the group regarding Game 6s, not being able to close series, not being able to elevate the game also against the Hurricanes. What do you feel is the next step for this group when it comes to being there and elevate?
Yeah, for sure. I think as a group we learned a lot this playoff run, and we were close, obviously. And I think sometimes you kind of got to go through this as a group to be able to move forward and to be able to push past those limits. And yeah, I mean, we had a few opportunities to go up 3-1, a couple opportunities to close it out in Game 6, and weren't able to do that. And I don't know if that has a huge impact on our final series there, but you definitely want to be able to close out games, close out series when you have the opportunity, and like you said, be able to elevate your game to not leave it to chance and not leave it to a Game 7. But we'll learn from them, and I think moving forward, obviously we'd like to win, but you go through these hardships sometimes, and it pushes you to new levels. So
getting those big goals during the run, how much can you use that moving forward to stay there?
Yeah, I mean, it's big moments. I think we all like playing in those big moment games, and it's fun to get a couple goals like that and be able to, show up in big situations. But yeah, I think I don't know if it's really something to take with it, but I think just having the confidence that you can be the guy to show up in big games. So yeah.
Alex, as someone who's gone all the way and hosted the Stanley Cup, do you think one of the key learning elements for this team was understanding the mental fatigue that kind of comes with a long playoff run?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's half the battle of the physical side, and then you have the emotional side. And I think when you go through 2 Game 7s, 2 long series like that, there's definitely an emotional toll, and to be able to reset from those series and to hop right into another one 2 days after both times. It's challenging for sure, and I think we handled it well after the first series, not having our best in Game 1 against Buffalo, and I think going into Carolina we knew we had to be good right from the start. But yeah, you learn these things, and for us as a young group, I think there's a lot of value in what we went through, and to be able to focus on that next year and know kind of how to tackle that, I think is important.
Alex, for you personally, in training camp, you're taking off the power play. You're going to be a PK guy. You spoke about being a 200-foot player.
Mm-hmm.
You have the best offensive start to a season that you've had in your career, and then you have the most goals of anybody on the team in the playoffs. Just how rewarding has this season been for you personally, and what kind of growth do you have experienced throughout the year?
Yeah, I think that that 200-foot game is something that I think could be an identity for myself, and obviously would have liked to be on the power play at the start of the year, but I was accepting the role and just trying to do what I could to be the best I could at being on the kill and doing a job in that sense. And I also know what I'm capable of offensively, so I think not being put in that situation, I think maybe gave me a bit of fuel to prove it offensively as well. And yeah, I had a good start to the season, was feeling really good. Unfortunate timing with the injury, I think, but I think found it a little bit there also, coming back in playoffs and everything. So yeah, I'm confident in my offensive game. I think I took another step personally, and just got to keep taking more steps next year.
So as a guy,
just a true competitor and a great teammate, I think, is what he's, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but if it was his last time here, he's just a true competitor and a great teammate, and I think everyone that's played with him here would say the exact same thing. And I don't think there's one guy that's played on this team that didn't respect how much he did for this group and the entire organization.
Do you see people around you who can replace him?
You're not ever going to replace a guy like that. He's very unique in many ways, but you say it a lot when someone goes down or someone's gone, is you kind of have to fill that role by committee, and that's what we'll have to do. And it's about raising your competitive level, raising that energy, and sometimes it might have to be you that drags the guys into the fight, and well, yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
We always hear that he brings the guys to the fight. Just how tough was it to go into the fight without him over the last 2 months?
You know what? I think it's more just you felt for him. You know how badly he wanted to be a part of it, but I understood certain decisions, and we had a lot of really good forwards that were available, so they had to make some tough decisions. But I think it's more just, you always wanted to go to battle with him, and you always want him out there, but I just felt for him. I know how badly he wanted to be in the playoffs with us and be in those games, and that's, he's just such a big competitor, and in game sevens, and that's a guy you want in your corner.
In the past, you've been very clear-eyed about your identity, your role on the team, where you slotted on the depth chart. Now you've been asked during the playoffs to play an elevated role, center, what could be labeled the second line on that team. What did you make of it?
I didn't read too much into it. It's, I think Marty understands what I bring, and I think he felt that was a good way of going about things. But for me, it doesn't change how I have to play, and I know he's talked to me a bunch about just playing my game, and doesn't matter who you're with. So I think in playoffs, matchups become a big thing, and maybe that was a reason. And I actually felt like I was playing pretty well too, so that could have been another reason. So I don't look into this second line center narrative everyone's writing about. It's I think I'm just me, and I'm playing my game.
What are you most proud of your game? Kevin? What makes you effective that you've had such a long career in the NHL through a late draft pick?
I mean, for me, it's never taking a day here for granted, and I guess I'm proud of how hard I've worked to get here and how hard I worked to stay here and have an impact on this team. So I definitely just don't take wearing this jersey, for granted, or playing in this league for granted ever. And I think the days that maybe I do, then I won't be here anymore. So I'm really proud to be here and proud of myself for being in this organization for so long. And I think that just comes down to not taking things for granted and working your butt off every day.
I think you might be the longest tenured player now, like Gallagher.
Well, I don't know if Gallagher's gone.
He said he is.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He told us where he was in tears, saying he's on his way out. But
okay.
With that in mind, I believe you are. What's that mean to you, the longevity you've had with this team?
Yeah, it's. I think every pro hockey player or any pro athlete would say how lucky they are if they get to be with an organization for so long, and I truly do feel lucky. I love this city, and my wife and I have had a lot of fun here, and yeah, we're just really lucky and blessed to be such a part of such a good group.
The way the Carolina series played out, what do you think it revealed on what the team is missing in order to make the next step?
I think the biggest thing that stood out for me was they had their identity and they just stuck to it. And we obviously have an identity, but there's such small details in a game that we can always improve on, and they seem to have it all figured out. They had great sticks all over the ice. They were always connected. They're just a really annoying team to play against, which was a big factor in that game. In the series, was they're always on top of us, and I think also just they had so much experience in the playoffs. They were, I don't know how many years they lost in the conference finals and how many deep runs they've been on, but not making it to the finals. So, sometimes you have to learn through failures, and I think the experience in these playoffs is really going to help us going forward.
How much did you think this team learned about the value of physicality in the playoffs?
Yeah, physicality, but I think every series had a little something different to it, and I think just in general the experience of going through a Tampa series and going to Game 7 with them, and then going to a different styled series against Buffalo, and I think we just learned a lot in general about how you need to play to make it deep and consistently go far in the playoffs.
The success the team had this season, did it sort of confirm, I made the right choice last year, the trade deadline?
Yeah. I mean, I've never doubted it.
Any doubt, but
I've never doubted that, but I do remember telling my wife after we beat Tampa, I just remember saying, I'm so happy we're still here, and we've enjoyed every second of it, and we're just really happy.
Jake, you're one of 6 forwards who were part of the team in 2021 that's gone through the whole rebuild. How would you describe the progress of the rebuild over the 4 years? It looks like it's just been.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's you know, at the time of the start of the rebuild, you don't know how long it's going to take and if you're going to be a part of it for the whole time. But you know, you see the progression every single year. The drive in this group to individually get better and as a group get better has been great. And you know, we just keep pushing and pushing, and we have to continue to do that to keep reaching these next levels. And again, like, I think the goal is to be a cup contender for a long, long time, and the way to do that is just consistently work at your own craft and you know, together as a group.
What DNA is there in this team from the 2021 team?
I guess from what I learned is that team in 2021 had a lot of really good players, quite a few Hall of Famers, and stats or ice time and anything like that. It was working as a group to get one goal, and we have that here again. And I guess I'm lucky to have that experience and see that, but I'm not too worried about any selfishness on this team. It's a family here that everyone wants what's best for each other, and we all just want one goal.
Cole's a pretty good example of that, isn't he? When we talked to him about 50 goals,
That's selfish, yeah. 50. No, we should pass it more, no?
Yeah, he's everything but selfish,
yeah.
right?
No, he's the perfect example. He obviously had a lot of individual success, but throughout the year, you know, I remember I scored an overtime goal, and I think he was happier than I was. So there's stuff like that when you're a top player in the league and a leader and a top player on this team, and he's doing that kind of stuff, it's easy to follow.
Do you remember the first time you met Gallagher?
Mais de ne pas être là comme tu aurais voulu être.
Oui, c'est sûr, c'est différent. Évidemment, en tant que joueur de hockey, c'est sûr que de pouvoir faire partie de l'action, être dans le line-up, c'est sûr, c'est ce qu'on veut, c'est ce qui est le fun. Mais en même temps, j'ai essayé de regarder ça de l'extérieur. J'étais ici à Montréal, j'avais la chance de quand même participer aux séries éliminatoires, puis on sait tellement à quel point c'est le fun de pouvoir le faire, puis juste de faire partie de cette organisation-là, de ce groupe-là. On a tellement un bon groupe de joueurs ici, donc quand même d'être alentour des gars, j'ai tellement eu de fun, puis de pouvoir regarder les matchs quand même, puis je voulais juste profiter de l'expérience au maximum.
Tu tournais à la page déjà?
Non, mais.
Sur le Canadien de Montréal? Non,
mais c'est encore un an de contrat, c'est pas moi qui prends les décisions. Donc, moi, ce qui est important pour moi maintenant, c'est d'avoir une bonne été puis d'être prêt pour la saison prochaine. Puis on verra ce qui arrive en temps et lieu.
As-tu réussi à mettre le doigt sur qu'est-ce qui a fait défaut cette année?
Je pense, quand je suis arrivé, peut-être pas le bon mindset, je me mettais un petit peu trop de pression en arrivant. Puis, quand ça s'est mis à mal aller, après ça, je suis vraiment tombé, je pense, beaucoup trop dans ma tête. Puis, c'est surtout, en tant que gardien de but, c'est, je pense, la pire chose que tu peux faire. Puis après ça, j'allais dans les matchs, puis évidemment, mes habiletés ne sortaient pas parce que les joueurs arrivaient ou peu importe, je pensais beaucoup trop. Puis, je pense que c'était aussi le mindset après ça. Je n'allais pas dans les matchs en sachant que je pouvais arrêter rondelle, faire les différences. J'allais plus là comme pensant qu'il ne faut pas que je me fasse scorer. Puis quand tu t'en vas dans les matchs comme ça, c'est sûr que tu ne peux pas t'attendre à ce que ça aille bien.
Quand tu as dit que tu étais dans la forme de ta vie, est-ce que tu avais une motivation supplémentaire justement quand tu t'entraînais dans ces moments-là?
Oui, mais justement, le fait que je n'étais pas dans l'alignement, ça me donnait vraiment beaucoup plus de temps. Après les morning skates, les pratiques, j'étais souvent tout le temps sur le bike avec notre entraîneur physique, puis on travaillait super fort. Puis c'est sûr que ça m'a permis de venir en bonne shape. Puis le fait que j'ai pas rejoué non plus, c'est quasiment comme si l'entraînement d'été avait déjà commencé. Donc je ne prendrai pas non plus un très gros break, puis on va juste continuer comme ça pour vraiment être prêt pour quand ça va recommencer en septembre.
Sans la pression que tu mettais, est-ce que la possibilité de faire Team Canada, les Olympiques, ça a joué là-dedans aussi?
Oui, je pense que oui. C'était juste juste avec notre équipe, l'expectation était plus grande cette année. Il y avait les Olympiques aussi. Donc, c'était vraiment tout ça, je pense, qui me jouait dans la tête. Puis là, comme j'ai dit, quand ça commençait à moins bien aller, là, après ça, ça a juste comme déboulé.
Tout ce que tu viens de décrire là, est-ce que ça s'est passé tout le long de la saison? Tu avais l'impression d'avoir pu mettre ça derrière toi, justement, après ton passage chez le Rocket, puis même après Noël?
Oui, je pensais peut-être que oui. Quand je suis revenu après ça, j'avais quand même une bonne séquence de 4-5 matchs que ça avait super bien été. Puis après ça, je pense que j'avais quand même un autre 2 matchs qui ont bien été. Peut-être que là, ça a justement recommencé. Je me suis remis à penser ça. Puis je pense que j'ai eu des bons matchs dans la saison ici et là, mais comparativement aux 3 dernières années suivantes, j'ai pas été capable d'aller chercher la constance. Puis je dirais même des constances dans
dans le même match. Souvent, j'ai l'impression que je jouais des bons matchs pour la plupart, 54-55 minutes où je jouais très bien, mais il y avait, je sais pas, peut-être un 3-4 minutes où je perdais focus, puis c'est là que j'allais peut-être donner un moins bon but puis faire mal à l'équipe.
Quel genre de ressources ou de support tu as eu, puis trouves-tu que tu en as eu assez ou tu aurais voulu avoir un peu plus?
Ouais, mais tu sais, je pense que c'est peut-être un peu plus au début, mais après ça, à partir de Noël, après ça, j'ai commencé à travailler avec un psychologue sportif, puis je pense que ça m'a beaucoup aidé. Puis, tout au long de l'année, on faisait beaucoup de suivi. Puis, ici aussi, on est bien entouré avec les Canadiens. Puis, avoir Marco aussi, que je connais depuis longtemps, puis qui me connaît super bien aussi. Puis, non, je pense que j'ai eu le bon support. Puis, c'est beaucoup d'apprentissage à faire cette année. Puis, même si c'est une mauvaise saison côté statistique puis côté hockey, je pense que c'est pas une saison à mettre aux poubelles directement. Il y a beaucoup d'apprentissage à faire de ça. Puis, c'est juste de pouvoir en apprendre puis revenir plus fort l'année prochaine.
Comment tu faire l'année prochaine? Peux-tu le faire ici? Il faut que tu ailles ailleurs pour tourner la page, je pense.
Ouais, comme j'ai dit, c'est pour moi qui prends ces décisions-là. Moi, c'est sûr, j'aime tellement ça ici à Montréal. Là, ça fait 5 ans maintenant que je joue ici, d'être proche de la maison, de pouvoir représenter cette organisation-là. C'est sûr que j'aimerais continuer à le faire, mais comme j'ai dit, c'est pas moi qui prends les décisions, puis on va voir ce qui va arriver.
On a donné le filet à Jacob, il a pris sa chance et tout, mais qu'on ne fasse pas appel à toi comme numéro 2. Est-ce que ça a été un autre coup pour toi?
Oui, bien, tout ça, c'est plate, mais en même temps, j'avais parlé beaucoup avec Marco, puis c'est justement qu'il ne savait pas qu'est-ce que le futur arrivait, évidemment, qu'est-ce qui allait être vraiment jusqu'à la fin de la saison. Donc, au début, j'étais pas dans l'alignement, puis c'est qu'il me disait justement au gym, on a vraiment travaillé vraiment fort au cas où que, on aurait peut-être eu besoin de mes services un peu plus tard, que vraiment que je sois en bonne forme pour reprendre pour le hockey. Puis finalement, là, ça a juste continué, puis Jacob a fait un travail extraordinaire. Donc, ça a juste continué comme ça jusqu'à la fin de l'année. Mais non, les 3 gardiens s'en allaient super bien. Donc, on arrive à l'aréna, il n'y avait pas de problème là-dessus. Puis on voulait juste tous s'entraider l'un et l'autre.
Jacob parlait de la bonne entente entre les 3 gardiens présentement au sein de l'équipe. Est-ce que tu as la même perspective que lui?
Oui, ben, c'est ce que je viens de dire. C'est vraiment les gars, on s'entend super bien. C'est des gars qui sont faciles à vivre. Puis on veut juste le bien d'un et l'autre, peu importe qui jouait. Puis on veut juste le bien de l'organisation. Puis c'est des gars qui travaillent très fort. Puis on voulait juste se pousser l'un et l'autre. Puis je suis vraiment content aussi pour lui pour le succès qu'il a eu.
Kent Hughes said he spoke with you after they called out Fowler and basically said, you're still a great goalie. The other great goalies have had one bad season and come back. How much did that conversation mean to you?
Yeah, we had a good talk when Jacob was called up. I really appreciated too that he got me in before the announcement that he was going to be called up and told me everything that was going on. So yeah, it just gave me that example a bit like Jeremy Swayman last year that didn't have that good of a year, but came back and this year he's visiting a finalist. So things were just going my way this year, but he said we just I wouldn't have a contract like this if I never played real good hockey. He said you've been really good all 3 years he was there. So just gotta, like I said, turn the page this summer, put the work in, and make sure this is just a one-off.
L'attente devait être longue, mais tu semblais avoir beaucoup de fun jusqu'à la fin, même samedi soir sur le stage. Qu'est-ce que ça dit sur votre groupe, sur l'appartenance que tu as à cette gang-là aussi?
Oui, comme j'ai dit, on est vraiment chanceux ici. On a un groupe tellement le fun. Puis, même peu importe la situation, quand je suis arrivé à l'aréna, les gars sont le fun. On a toujours du plaisir ici ensemble. Puis, vous l'avez vu aussi samedi, mais on est tellement contents, les gars. Puis, comme j'ai dit, je voulais juste vraiment profiter de l'expérience. On s'est rendu jusqu'à la finale de conférence ici avec les Canadiens, tout dans la ville, l'engouement qu'il y avait, les partisans, tout, c'était juste tellement le fun. Donc, sûr, ma situation n'était pas idéale, mais je voulais continuer d'en profiter. Puis juste, aussi, je suis un des gars les plus vétérans ici. On avait 2 jeunes gardiens, donc si je pouvais les aider de n'importe quelle façon, je voulais juste essayer de le faire.
Est-ce qu'on t'a traité justement? Est-ce qu'on t'a traité avec justesse, d'après toi?
Je pense que oui. Comme j'ai dit, juste le fait que quand il aurait juste pu caller up Fowler sans rien me dire, puis me laisser de côté, mais il a vraiment pris le temps de me parler, de m'expliquer la situation, de tout me dire. Puis Marco aussi, on se parlait beaucoup. Puis je pense que oui, on était juste.
Est-ce que ça a été difficile de ne pas céder à la frustration? Parce qu'on s'entend qu'il y a un compétiteur l'année passée qui a joué 60 matchs. Justement, surtout dans cette situation-là, à quel point c'était frustrant, puis il fallait réussir à passer par-dessus.
Oui, c'est sûr, c'est frustrant. C'est sûr que c'était pas une situation idéale. Mais c'était la situation dans laquelle j'étais, donc il n'y a pas grand-chose que je pouvais faire de plus que juste venir à l'aréna, continuer à travailler, puis avoir une bonne attitude. Puis c'est le genre de personne que je suis aussi. Je ne vais pas juste me renfermer, puis arriver à l'aréna, puis avoir une mauvaise attitude, puis juste chialer ou pas m'entendre avec les gars. Donc je voulais juste continuer, comme j'ai dit, d'en profiter, de venir ici. Puis si je pouvais aider les gars, peu importe de quelle façon, c'est sûr que j'allais le faire. Que ce soit avec les joueurs, des fois, je leur donnais des trucs aussi, ou avec les gardiens, on se parlait beaucoup aussi. Donc juste de continuer là-dessus.
Sam, I understand that you want to be back here in the fall, but what's your level of confidence that you
Mm-hmm.
How confident are you that you will be here at training camp?
I don't know, honestly. Like I said, I'm not the one that takes this decision. We have two young goalies here that are pretty good. They're really good goalies. So, like I said, that's above my pay grade. I don't take those decisions. So, just want to, go back in the summer, work as hard as I can to be ready in September.
The other end of that, there's other teams in the league with goaltending issues. Your confidence level must be quite high that if they decide they don't want you here, that there's going to be other teams out there that will want you.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was just a bad season this year. Like all 3 seasons before that, I was really good. Like last year, I finished 5th, I think, in goal save above expected. I had a good season, good playoffs. So I know I can do it. Just wasn't a good season for me this year. Like I said, I just want to go on 10 pages this summer, put the work in, and make sure this is a one-off.
Tu as vécu un ménage à 3 avec Jake Allen et Kaiden Guhle. C'était ta petite carrière à ton âge. Serais-tu prêt à vivre ça?
Ouais, ben, ça c'est différent, mais comme ça revient au même encore que c'est pas moi qui prend ces décisions-là. Puis pour l'instant, je suis encore sur contrat avec les Canadiens, puis on est les 3 encore sur contrat avec les Canadiens, les 3 goalers. Puis si c'est ça la situation au camp d'entraînement, ça sera ça. Puis comme j'ai dit, je ne veux pas trop penser à ça. Puis moi, c'est l'important juste d'être prêt pour à ce moment-là.
Jake Allen was in a similar situation to you when he was here as a veteran. You were one of the guys coming for his job. How much did you learn from him through that experience that maybe helped you this year?
Yeah, obviously, same for him. He was a really good teammate. When we were there, even if we had 3 goalies, he was always trying to help us. He was a veteran. Obviously, had a lot of experience, and went to a different team, and now he just signed another contract there. He had a really good year this year too, and it's always someone that's going to work out, and that's what I'm going to try to do too.
That's got to give you confidence too. What he did then.
Yeah, sure.
Training, also potentially could extend your contract. Lane said that he had spoken to you about it over the last couple of weeks. How do you feel about your vision in this city long term?
I'm pretty, I like the city, I like this team, like all the boys, and our management organization is pretty good. So I'm good with that. I wanna stay here. Yeah.
What did Lane tell you about how to handle that summer and the contract stuff?
We talk a little bit about that, but yeah, just saying to each other that it's important to stay here for a long time, because the group that we have here, it's like cup team, so
So your priority will be to sign as long as possible.
Yeah.
Earlier as possible.
Yeah.
Yvonne, what do you think you learned about the difference between playoff hockey and regular season hockey? And I don't know if you've ever played in this tight checking environment as you played in the playoffs. Like, what do you come away with?
Come away with a lot of stuff, because like you said, everyone see it. The playoff is different, and just gotta be more physical ready for it, and just playing your game.
After that full season, what kind of expectations do you have for yourself?
My expectation?
Yeah, for yourself next year.
Oh, next year. Oh, yeah. Just play better. Just get more stuff. That's my expectation.
What's the priority, like the biggest thing you want to improve for next season in your game?
It's tough to say. It's should improve everything. So I can't say one thing.
Did you feel you were getting more and more comfortable in the playoff as it went on?
Yeah, I think so. Against Carolina, against Buffalo was much easier than first series. And when you start used to it, just playing hockey and having fun.
What are your plans for the summer? What would you like to bring out in your game next year?
The plan is basically it's just go to the gym, gain some muscle there, and just skating. I don't know.
Are you going back home to
No, I'm staying here. Yeah.
Staying here.
Yeah.
Ivan, what was so frustrating about playing Carolina?
good question. I would say, I mean, obviously we're like we weren't that fresh as them, and I mean they're just it's hard to play when the team just pressure everywhere, and probably that was frustrating to us. I think so.
Then what do you see as it's obviously disappointing to lose in the conference final, but you're 20, so you shaved. So just, you're so young. When you see the future of this team, what do you see?
I mean, it's a team who's gonna, win not only one cup. I think a couple more. That's my expectation. It's what I see in this team.
What are your? I mean, obviously Dan's going to handle the negotiation whenever that happens. I mean, what are your instructions? What do you tell Dan?
I didn't talk with him.
No, but when you
no,
talk
I
to
mean,
him, yeah.
Just do your job. That's it. No.
But the job is to get a contract.
Yeah.
Contract taken care of.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, you saw, how it bothered Lane down the stretch this season prior to him signing his contract. Is that something you'd like to avoid? That it drags into the season?
Yeah, I think so. Just I feel better to sign in the summer than start like in the season, because you're ready, just know and yeah. So.
Gotcha. Why are you staying here this summer?
I mean, I like Montreal, so and yeah, like we have good base, like a facility to skate and practice, so that's why I think.
What's the biggest thing that you feel you've learned this season playing in the NHL, playing in the
English?
I think,
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, everything. I would say, like how the game goes, and like all the stuff around. I learn probably everything, from the game and around the league. The stuff like flights and that's it. Like all the those categories. I mean, everything new, everything interesting. So.
You mentioned English.
Yeah.
How important is it for you to be able to communicate to your fans?
I mean, it is probably the most important thing, because you're like, it looks bad when you're like, you can't talk with people, just because of you're, I don't know, lazy, or you can start learn languages. That's
So next year you're gonna learn French again?
Yeah.
Who's been your best teacher?
For English, I mean, probably Laner, because we spent a lot of time with him, like neighbors. How to say it? Roommate. Yeah. So.
Who's been your worst teacher? Who's given you some of the?
75.
Yeah. College life. What did you see from Lane and the season that he had, and how he performed in the playoffs? And what do you take away from what he did this year?
I mean, he's such a good player, and it's every time it's fun to watch him. So, I mean, he can do everything on the ice. It's flying every time when he had opportunity to do it, and I mean, just fun to watch.
Is there a conversation you might have had, as I know that you guys talk as roommates about hockey and what's going on, and so in the playoffs, is there anything he might have told you that helped you, that you can
I mean, I don't remember, so, yeah, can say something.
So nothing?
I don't think so.
Thanks, Ivan. Thank you.